Well, I've been a bum for the past couple of days and haven't wanted to really do anything. But I figured I'd come out here and try to get some stuff done, because I still have to align the windows, still got to do the weather stripping around the door, still got to do the weather stripping, or redo the weather stripping up here because it didn't stick with the dam. I'm gonna go back and wax grease remove the weather strip, redo it, and use an acid brush to brush it out, let it tack up good, and then I'm probably gonna wait to do this top one until I get the windows aligned so that I can roll the windows up to hold it, the weather strip in place as well, because I found a couple of places that recommend doing that. But I figured I'd come out here and get some stuff done. I've been moping around enough, and I figured get some of the stuff done that's not motor related, that needs to be done still. So came out here to, get my mind off the headache, and ran into more headache. So here's what I'm dealing with now. So you already know when I put the glass in, if you watched previous videos, that one of the doors didn't have this hole here at all. So I had to drill it. The door didn't have this hole drilled in the front for the weather stripping, so I had to drill it, and it's kind of sloppy because there's a plate behind it that wanted to kick my drill bit over. This little tab here, yeah, you can see the little cutout where the hole's supposed to go, I guess. That's not where it lined up for this or the weather strip. And I'm waiting on an answer back. I'm pretty sure I already know the answer. I'm pretty sure the weather stripping goes on first, and then this goes over the top of it, like so. Because it looks like there's a little bit of a gap where it could slip underneath it, or it would help hold the lip down, and a screw runs through this and the weather strip itself, which is that right there. So this will sit like that, and then, excuse my camera work, because I'm still on a stand and I'm working one-handed. But it'll go something like so-ish, with this piece on top. Oh, anyways, on to what the headache is. So this side, you'll notice this felt lip here pretty much runs straight down this line. And this little groove slips in there, and all your screws line up. And if I hold here, it is, other than this little bit of, I don't know if you can hear it hitting, but that little bit of play there, this one's pretty square, and it fits up pretty good. Now over to the fun side. My helper here passed out. Oh, not passed out, but taking her a break. On to the fun door. That's been nothing but problems. First off, lip nowhere near this piece. Second, this piece I'd already cut off the top because there's no way it's gonna happen. I don't know how I'd fix this. I don't know if this hole was cut wrong. I don't know if the stamping is, like, if they just chopped it off. I don't know if the skin was supposed to be further out. Honestly, I don't know. And I remember fighting this door with alignment too, because up top, we're good. As you go more and more towards the bottom, you get stick out. Yeah, there was no fixing that. It's already adjusted as far as it can go. If you try to adjust it anymore, it throws this top off. The only thing I can figure is this door skin was put on wrong and it's like twisted. So chances are I'll be replacing this door later, because I don't know how to, shy of trying to put it in some kind of jig and twisting the door back into shape or something, or going through and busting the spot welds off of it. It's more effort than it's worth in my opinion. I can buy another door for, I don't know, $200-300. So I'll probably end up doing that later when it comes time to paint the car. That way I'll just cruise around on this for a while I'm saving my money up, and order a door, do all the glass fitment and stuff then. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check for this hole. I'm gonna check for this alignment, because this is it held flush. It is way off. Like, for it to sit, I have to push down. Like, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it's hella off. So, I mean, everything's off. This little tab here, I had to hammer down just now. I had to hammer it back because the freaking weather strip wouldn't even sit in that gap. I had to drill this hole. These holes, which is why I think this outer piece was put on wrong, they're overlapping the inner support. That one's barely clearing it, but these, I would have to drill those out. They run into the inner structure. But yeah, this, I don't think this comes out far enough either. I don't know if you can see that hole. Barely. Yeah, so there's the hole. Put it down. It like overlaps. You can barely see daylight through there. Yeah, that's fitting it. And I don't know if, since it overhangs right here, if I'm gonna have an issue when I go to shut the door, if this weather strip's gonna rub against this trying to shut. So I might have to come back, take this off, and run shears down this lip to trim it down some. Don't know. Find that out in a few when I go to put the damn thing on. So, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna use these two holes. I don't think I can fit any of these, because for this hole to line up, which I want this face, that lip needs to be butted. None of these other holes line up. That bottom one, yeah, you can see where it's at. There's no way it's lining up. Like it comes up some, but no way. So I'll be able to put a screw down here. I think I can, nope, can't even put a screw on that one. It's like, you can't see it probably, but yeah, there it is, daylight. Yeah, these top two, not gonna have screws in them. That's if I retain this. There's no way around it unless I weld on a piece of metal for this to screw to. Not happening. Swapped my strikes. Door opens and closes like a dream now with the original doo-doo looking factory ones. Yet another fun deal. Those billet strikes that I ordered that are so nice looking, they just don't close worth the shit. So I'm gonna see if my machinist buddy can do anything with them. See if he can take off some material around this outer edge to make it work smoother. Don't know. Another annoyance. And they're brand new latches, so the factory latches we're sticking to. I just thought the new ones would fix the issue. So I guess what I'm gonna do now is play with the glass alignment, since I can't really do the door. I can do this one probably, but that one's gonna be a pain. I'll try to get the glass alignment and do this weather stripping, I guess. And that's it for now. I did take my heads to the machine shop, dropped those off. He's gonna take them apart, see if he can figure out what happened. He is pretty much the same as me, has no clue how only those two front intake valves bent. He doesn't think the nibbler shavings would have caused it as well. So, I don't know. The only thing I can figure is those two intake lifters were stuck down maybe, and they eventually freed themselves up and added tension. Maybe when I set the valve latch, they were down and I didn't notice them, but I could have sworn I checked all of them, like pushing a push rod on them to make sure they were all free moving, like not needing to be rebuilt or replaced. Just to make sure the plunger went down in the bore of the lifter and sprung up. Maybe I missed two, I don't know. I also did clearance checks. I'm gonna do it again. I have solid lifters, two of them I can drop in. I'll check clearance. I'll actually check clearance on both those cylinders, since those are the ones that hit, which kind of sucks since they're on opposite sides. I'm gonna have to torque both heads down to check it. One positive thing is, since I got my intake off, I can fix this shenanigans. What I'll probably end up doing is drilling and tapping right here on this flat where there was a sticker before, because that's the water jacket right there. I'll drill it, tap it for 1/8 inch MPT, put that right there, and get rid of this T, and just put a regular 90 fitting there. The only thing I'm worried about is I think it comes up high enough to where it would clear the sensor. That's my only worry, is that that fitting would end up being too close to the sensor there. If I have to, I'll put a straight fitting on it and then 90 a hose fitting to get it up high enough to go around it. The rest of this is good. I blew this out. There's no shavings or anything inside of that. This, I'm still undecided on what I want to do. I talked to On3. They recommended a 7665. They have a V-band housing, a T4 housing, and they're like, it's like $340 for just like for the base turbo for journal bearing. It doesn't have a surge, anti-surge compressor housing like this one does, and they can upgrade to a stainless exhaust housing where I wouldn't need Cerakote as well. But I don't know if I want to go that route or not, because they did say that two 7665s would be kind of overkill for my future build. They would spool slow. That, from the sounds of it, these 262/62s would be the ideal setup for twins. If I go that route, still undecided if I want to go that route. V-band housing exhaust like what this one is would be easier to weld. I do have to change it because it's bigger than this if I go with the On3 one, which I have to change it anyways if I go to T4 and change this housing out to the bigger one. However, T4 flange is more universal, so later on if I go to the motor and I wanted to run single, I could just split the cross pipe since the 351 block is wider, extend it out, but the T4 would still function, should be fine where it's at. I wouldn't have to change the up pipe or anything, so I'm leaning towards T4 flange. Yeah, so I don't know. Shopping for a 351 block. After talking to the engine builder, he recommended using stroking it to a 393. So it's just a stroker crank, stock length rods, stock. He was saying stock pistons, but he recommended going to the Chevy rod journal, smaller journal, whatever. So that build, I just kind of did a quick add up on Summit the other night, and it'd be close to $5 grand to do that build for everything I'd need for the swap, because I'd have to replace my distributor. I'd have to buy another one of these intakes. I'd have to buy another oil pan. I already got to buy another turbo or exhaust housing. I would have to buy stroker crank, rods, pistons, still pay all the machine fees. And if I went stroker, I'd probably just have the machine shop build a motor just to be sure. This ordeal is, even though I checked everything and the motor ran for a while without having ever having any issues, it still hits your confidence level. Like if I'm sinking that much money, I don't want to risk screwing something up. And I know if they do it, it's insured for anything they screw up. But it's just stressful and headaches and etc. Don't have the money to put out on that now, so what I'm probably going to try to do is just, like I said, get my heads back, do another clearance check, bolt everything back up and roll with it. Like I said, I'll probably end up changing the exhaust to a T4 and ordering that On3 turbo more than likely. Either that or just an eBay turbo. I don't know. I got to see what route I can go with that, but I'll probably go T4 though and change out my flange to that. Means I'll have to redo my wastegate flange and my up pipe flange. Like this whole section will have to be redone probably. I needed to fix this anyways where this is rubbing, so and I may or may not have to redo my intake piping some. I don't know if that'd be an issue or not. I'll try to spot it in the same place on this side where the turbo will sit, but I don't know. Still gotta put my trim in up here. Don't exactly know how that'll sit. But I'll come back when I got more to share. Maybe I'll figure out something to do with this weather strip in the door. Until next time, Adios.